What's going on, guys? Super Savage 789 here, bringing you guys a video. I say we're doing what if Itachi was a Hokage, episode 4. In the last episode, we covered the Land of Waves arc, as well as the aftermath of the exam, with the big reveal that Danzo had been training Sasuke in secret. Orochimaru had then given Sasuke the curse mark before the tuning exams had even begun, and we left off with Itachi noticing this. We return to this timeline, now. Sasuke and Rock Lee would not have their fight, at least, not initially. Since Sasuke is a brother of the Hokage, people would make assumptions of his power, which Lee would do so. He doesn't need to fight him to test it out. Team 7 would arrive at the first exam, well, that would go the exact same. No differences, no new characters. Everyone learns they can cheat, and then they pass, with Naruto slamming his hand on a desk, and, he does the spectacle. When moving on to the Forest of Death section, Orochimaru won't lick the blood from Naruto's cheek, since there's no need for him to be there. He'd already given Sasuke the curse mark, so he has no need to enter the forest to mess with Sasuke and give him his infamous dark magic. When all the Genin enter the forest, Itachi appears in front of Anko, shocking her, as she tells him he doesn't need to be so sneaky at the people of the village. Noticing her neck, Itachi asks Anko what it is, and Anko explains what the curse mark is, which both infuriates and upsets Itachi. He knows that Orochimaru is somewhere in his village, so he begins to come up with a way to conquer him. In the Forest of Death, Naruto would go take a leak where Oboro comes back, having impersonated him, which Sasuke would pick up on. Having been trained by Danzo to be similar to an Anbu member or an assassin, Sasuke doesn't hesitate when coming to his opponent. He grasps his hand around Oboro's neck and stabs him through the gut, shocking Sakura until Oboro's transformation wears off. To make sure Oboro doesn't escape, Sasuke decapitates him before raiding his body, finding a scroll and taking it. Naruto comes back and is quite shocked at what Sasuke did, but glad that they managed to get a scroll that quickly, so they might as well go to the place they have to now. As they move, Naruto would be exclaiming how easy this was, with Sakura telling him that he didn't do anything. He leaves him distracted, but not Sasuke. He notices the oncoming traps and tells his teammates to watch out as he pushes them to the ground, explaining the situation to them. Team Dosu step out of the shadows, telling them to hand over their scroll. They'd still be tasked with attacking Sasuke to really see what he's made of. Naruto tells his teammates that he'll handle this and rushes towards his opponents, creating a couple shadow cones to take all three of them down. Zaku chuckles at the brat's attempt at an attack, raising up his hand, firing a blast of sound that destroyed the clones, and sends Naruto flying into a tree behind Sakura and Sasuke, in a very comedic moment. Sasuke tells Sakura to tend to Naruto as he steps forward, asking if they really want to do this. The sound Genin won't stand out, which Sasuke understands, knowing it'll be their downfall. From a nearby tree, Lee would be watching to see what Sasuke is truly made of, since again they never came to blows, so he wouldn't know what he can do. Now will be his answer though. Team Dosu all begin fighting Sasuke, use his Sharingan to keep up with them, and dodge their attacks, trying to come up with strategy to take them down. He keeps getting blasted by sound waves that are extremely loud, and he's pierced with Senbon all over, hurting him. He figures out that the person doing this is Kin, so he decides to take care of her. He rushes over to her and stares her dead in the eye, casting Sharingan Genjutsu on her, then knocks her out. This distracts Sasuke as Zaku fires a massive sound wave, impacting both him and his comatose teammate, as well as the tree that they were on, collapsing. Sakura begins to cry, believing that Sasuke has been killed right there, and there, as does Naruto. But Naruto's sadness becomes pain, as his chakra begins to rise, his eyes turning red, as his appearance becomes more feral, for the first time ever. He stares at Zaku and Dosu and tells them that he's going to kill them. Before Naruto can enter the fight, however, the ground begins to shake as the tree that he had supposedly killed Sasuke begins to break apart. Eventually, dark chakra begins to ooze out of it, frightening sight to behold. It didn't feel human, and it probably wasn't. In a blur, a humanoid-like figure leaped out of the tree, too quick to be seen. As everyone begins to look, they see Sasuke stood behind Zaku with a blade to his neck. The curse mark had crawled over his body in a terrifying sight. Now with sadistic dark thoughts flowing through his mind, Sasuke decides not to kill them. Not just yet. He begins to essentially torture Zaku and Dosu with taijutsu. He cuts holes in Zaku's arms to stop sound coming out the front, so they'll come out and hit Zaku in the face, and then Sasuke destroys Dosu's sound amplifier, essentially leaving them both useless. He breaks Zaku's arms and Dosu's legs in a sight too brutal to behold. Sakura then rushes over to Sasuke and hugs him, allowing him to return to his senses. The curse mark regresses back to the mark on his neck as he tells them they should leave, which they do. Just like normal, they pick up Kabuto and they all move to the tower so they can pass. As they move, however, Oboro's teammates try and get revenge for their deceased comrade. They battle like they had in canon, just with Oboro not being there. It ultimately ends with Team 7 arriving and meeting up with Iruka. The third round preliminaries arrive, with there being a change in the roster. With Dosu being disabled, Zaku having both his arms broken, and Kin either dead or seriously injured, the Sound Genin wouldn't make it to this round. So when Kabuto forfeits, we only have 17 fighters, which wouldn't really work. That is unless they have a 3-way fight, which we'll do as the final fight of the whole thing. So I randomized the roster, and here's what I got. Mizume vs Lee, Shino vs Naruto, Temari vs Neji, Sakura vs Yoroi, Gaara vs Kiba, Kankuro vs Sasuke, Hinata vs Shikamaru, Ino vs Choji vs Tenten. In the first fight, Mizume is absolutely screwed. His whole gimmick relies on getting close to someone, which when it's Rock Lee is suicide. It'd be like placing your head in an angry lion's mouth. You can't do anything, you're just screwed. After one blow from Lee, Mizume is taken down and the fight is called in Lee's favour. When getting called into the arena, Naruto stands on the side. He asks if they want to use up their best fighter so quickly. Sakura just punches Naruto in the arena, making him have a bump on his head as he stands back up. The moment the fight begins, Naruto stands up, creating a bunch of shadow clones ready to win. He's been training his killer instinct in Kakashi for a while now, ever since he killed Haku, so he has to act as if he'll kill Shino. Although Naruto's dive at Shino using taijutsu, trying to beat him up, however he releases beetles from his body. They catch some of the clones, causing them to dispel, however not all of them. Remembering the intel from the destroyed clones, the remaining Naruto has all realized that the bugs take chakra, so he needs to be careful of that. Using Shuriken and Kunai, Naruto tries to turn Shino to a pincushion, which doesn't work as Shino bursts into beetles. Naruto begins to scan around trying to find Shino. He hears one of his clones shout something before it dispels, making Naruto panic. He turns to see Shino standing behind him where all his clones were, quickly rushing in, grappling onto Naruto's body. He begins to sap Naruto's chakra, which makes Naruto panic. While the bugs do this, Naruto doesn't notice one by one the beetles begin to fry up. Shino notices this and becomes confused, not knowing the reason why. The actual reason is Naito's chakra being so hot and dangerous that their weak little bodies can't handle it and burn up. Shino retracts his remaining beetles to avoid their death, giving Naruto an opportunity to attack. He creates a bunch of shadow clones that attract Shino from all over, using the Uzumaki Naruto barrage to fling Shino around, breaking his glasses and slamming against the arena floor. Shino stays down since he can't really do much and it'll be better to forfeit to avoid his bugs dying. Temari vs Neji sounds like a very interesting match. While Temari acts all cocky, Neji goes on about fate, declaring that Tamari's fate will be to lose. When the fight begins, Temari swings her fan at Neji, sending a massive gust of wind towards him. To stop it, Neji uses his rotation, which begins to spin the wind around him, before making it dispel when releasing his rotation. With Byakugan active, Neji begins rushing towards Temari, who slashes at him again. To avoid it, Neji leaps into the wall, begins to think of a plan. Judging by the weight of the fan as well as how she has to put chakra into the fan, Neji gets an idea as to how to take her down. Neji leaps through the air, which Temari tries to take advantage of, going for another slash of wind. Mid-air, Neji begins to maneuver himself in a surreal way, ducking under the wind as he rushes at her. With his gentle fist fighting style, he shuts down the chakra nodes in her hands and arms, making her let go of the fan confused. Neji would reveal about the gentle fist before beginning to beat down on her, beating her down until she forfeits, allowing Neji to win. Sakura against Yoroi sounds very unfair for Sakura, but you have to take into account the domino effect. With Naruto and Sasuke training even harder, it's likely that Sakura will at least be a little bit stronger, so this fight will be even closer than first thought. Yoroi rushes at her, stealing some of her chakra, which she realizes. She decides to get some distance and come up with a plan. Sadly for her, nothing reaches her mind as Yoroi keeps rushing at her, stealing bits of chakra slowly. Although it appears Yoroi is winning, he makes one grave mistake. When his hand gets a little too close to Sakura's chest, something snaps in the pink-haired girl. Her inner Sakura comes to surface as she shouts that he'll kill him. Begin to punch him over and over until he's left bloodied on the ground, not moving, unconscious. It makes Naruto remark that he shouldn't get on her bad side. Kiba would forfeit before entering the arena since his teammate did run into Gaara in the Forest of Death. Having seen what Gaara can do, Kiba and Akamaru don't feel like throwing their lives away, so instead they decide to declare the forfeit and just move on. Kankuro vs Sasuke, the kids of the two Kage. Everyone's asked to be locked in this fight, ready to see what the fighters can really do. Kankuro and Sasuke both get in their fighting stance, ready for battle. Hayate raises his hand, ready to declare battle, until Uchiha Sasuke is disqualified. Everyone looks and sees Itachi stood up from where he sat. This enrages Sasuke, demanding to know why his brother did this, which Itachi doesn't grant. Hayate calls his match in Kankuro's favour as he returns to the stands. This further angers Sasuke as he tells Itachi he refuses. He tells Kankuro to fight him, but before anyone answers, Itachi casts Genjutsu on his brother, which knocks him out. As Hinata and Shikamaru begin their match, Kakashi has to speak with Lord Fifth in private. He asks why he disqualified Sasuke, and Itachi decides to tell Kakashi everything. He's very trustworthy, and he'll be able to keep a close eye on Sasuke for him. Plus, Itachi and Kakashi do have a sort of friendship since they did help each other back when the Uchiha are at to all die. Well, not all of them, go watch episode 1, you know what I mean. Itachi also tells Kakashi that he believes an invasion will begin soon, so they need to make sure that all their shinobi are strong. Curious, Kakashi asks Itachi how he thinks the invasion will occur, and Itachi predicts it precisely. Orochimaru will impersonate the Kazekage and use a one-tailed Jinchuriki to destroy the leaf, while Orochimaru distracts Itachi. It means they should be prepared for that. When returning back to the Chunin Exams arena, they see that Shikamaru had won the fight, because of course he had his Shikamaru. Finally, we arrive at the three-way battle. Tenten knows that Choji and Ino have good teamwork, so they'll probably attack her together. Just a matter of which will attack her first. Choji dives at Tenten with a human expansion jutsu, which Tenten attempts to dodge, but can't as her body's taken over. Ino landed the mind possession so easily. She pulls out some explosive notes and leaps at Choji, releasing her mind possession as Choji collides. Thinking on her feet, Tenten sticks the notes into Choji's spinning body, making them explode under it, flinging Choji backwards, impacting Ino hard. Both of them are slammed into the wall behind them, badly damaged, giving Tenten the win. The actual tournament roster is announced being Shikamaru vs Sakura, Kankuro vs Lee, Gaara vs Neji, Naruto vs Tenten. Before everyone can leave for the 1 month of training, Kakashi asks for the Genin who failed to stay behind for a bit longer. They all agree except for Temari, Yoroi, Mizume and Sasuke, since they have no interest in staying and Kakashi has no interest in keeping them. Kakashi tells them he wants to train them all, which confuses them as they question why. He tells them that they should be trained to become stronger so they can be ready for the next exam and become Chunin. Kiba would be ecstatic at this offer and agrees, forcing Shino and Hinata to also train, which they reluctantly agree to. Choji and Ino would be hesitant, but Kakashi offers to buy them food if they both stay, so Choji forces Ino to stay. The five all train with Kakashi over the month, not knowing the real reason as to why. In reality, Kakashi wanted to repair them for the invasion if Itachi's prediction was correct. It gives them all significant gains even if they aren't learning anything new. It does improve their teamwork and their strength skills though. Sasuke would meet with Danzo and tells him what happened, which worries Danzo. He realizes that Itachi must have caught on and knows about the invasion. Danzo reveals the plan in the invasion, telling Sasuke to remain impassive when the invasion occurs, which Sasuke agrees with, returning home. Danzo tells Orochimaru that Itachi probably knows, which worries Asane. You can't just stop the invasion now, but you can definitely make it harder for the Leaf. So he'd make sure to bring in some extra firepower. Sakura would train with Kurenai over the 1 month, since Shikamaru defeated a student, and she wants to make sure Asuma doesn't get smug about the strength of his students. It means that Sakura learns the powerful genjutsus over the month, and, she's not as useless, even though she's useless in canon. But guys, that's all I'm going to do here. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment down below, skip in episode 5. This was a bit longer than my other videos, but, I feel like the idea warrants that. And, the invasion is going to go a bit more differently, getting her all stronger, and, yeah, let me know how you think it's going to go. Bye!